Okay, good afternoon. Okay, we've seen Biafran lobbies, Vefa, Dag, both into one guy. He said what? He said he's not happy with the proceeding, then the Finnish court as regards Simon Ekpa's case. He said what? The Finnish government are trying to play a funny game with the Nigeria government as regards Ekpa travel, accusing him of tax fraud and at the same time accusing Ekpa of terrorist activities here in Nigeria. But with this now, we've seen this man affiliated with, Ibrahim Traore and also with South African and at the same time with Russia. What do you think? And now this already drawing massive attention from the ICC. What is your take as regards?
Of course, it's definitely going to draw serious attention from ICC because from the findings so far, according to the prosecutor in Finland, Mazi Samoneba has not been linked with any terrorist organization. And but they are factoring in a lot of things, why Finland will stoop so low, irrespective of whatever gas deal they would have entered with Nigerian government. But so far, so good. Mambet Jaffa Gad, has made it very clearly. I think there was a press conference in that regard, where we'll put it very clearly to, all over the world that he is interested on Ekpa and is also a Biafra lobbyist from what we are finding out. Who is that? The Biafrans need to actually know who is, Mehmet Gad. And Mehmet Gad is a Turkish ambassador. I remember some time ago, we noticed there was a Turkish man who has also showed interest in anything that has to do with Biafra. Time passed during nnamdikanu travel. I think he was oftentimes issuing out press statements, concerning nnamdikanu as at that time. But this is a pure scenario entirely where a known figure has taken up Simon Ekpa's embattled and has promised to deliver more than 500 international foreign lawyers to Finland currently now to look into Simon Ekpa's case, of which it has attracted world condemnation, given the presence and the looks of Simon Ekpa at that period. Even though we got to know that Simon Ekpa actually came to court through military medical armored vehicle, but that has not yet been confirmed. But what the world leaders and of course Dag is saying at this point in time is that he is no longer comfortable with the position of Finland on Ekpa's matter, and not only that, he is making reference to what Swedish government and Norway government is talking about, how Alexander stooped so low, signaling there must be something behind what is happening in Finland against Simon Ekpa. Currently now, the borders between Norway and Sweden has been shut down as a result of, what Alexander Stubb has actually compromised the standard of Finland as a nation among international community and community of friends all over the world. And the questioning is still ongoing, to identify. Investigation is still ongoing to identify where we are observing such a thing as regards to Biafran agitation. And there was one interesting thing about this inflation figure, even though at a point in time, we discovered that he has had a stint, a clash with South African government. But Biafrans all over the world who are watching this video should go and find out who is actually this man and why he is actually picking interest on anything that has to do with Simon Ekpa and Biafra. And a lot of people claim that it's one of the Asia Biafran lobbyists within the Asian continent, who is also making sure that at the recognition of Biafra, we are going to experience other Asian nations, buying into their solidarity of recognizing Biafra, as a sovereign nation. But what amazes everybody now is that, at this point in the next Simon Ekpa's court appearance in Finland court, we are going to see more than 100 volunteers of foreign lawyers who are bent on trying to question the rationale why a Finnish citizen should be tried based on pressure coming from another country on the charges that has no proof of whether Simon Ekpa is linked to terrorism or not. But thank God, what the Iraqi born lawyer, I'm talking about Kali, Gumarus, who represented Samoneba at the last court appearance. You understand? And he's a reputable figure when it comes to issues like this, and he has taken up that matter. But another figure too is coming in, and what we are seeing now might not be too good for Alexander Stubb. I think the man currently now is in trouble as borders have been shut down, and people are pointing to the inhuman treatment method on Samoneba by Finnish government and a Finnish citizen for that, a Biafra Finnish citizen that have been gathering a lot of storm. That was why they took such decisions currently now. But Abraham Traore and the Russian president are meeting currently now to take a decisive decision on Finland. And remember, Finland and Russia are having a lot of problem, and I can tell you currently now that Russian government has shut down the hydrogen plant that is about to take place in Finland, citing human rights abuse by the Finnish government on a Biafra Finnish citizen, Samoneba. So anybody that is telling you, that Samoneba is not going to come out of this is not telling you the truth. Samoneba has the spread contact, has a lot of contact, has a lot of influence, within the nomadic nations or Scandinavian nations, including Denmark too, So this has actually put pressure, on Finland to look into Samoneba's connection and to know why a Finnish citizen will be tried based on terrorist accusations and petitions filed by government. But from the look of things, Alexander Stubb seems to have, because of Samoneba, took side, against Russian President Vladimir Putin by supporting Ukraine. You can say that. And Russia, and of course, the most influential figure now in Africa, West Africa now, outside nnamdikanu, is Ibrahim Traore, has made it officially that what is coming to Finland is huge, and that they will seek Biafra liberation anytime, any day, and nobody can stop them, because for economic and social political reasons, these nations I've mentioned has made it very clearly that there is no going back on Sahel revolution, and any time from now Ghana is likely to join the Sahel nation, and of which they are preparing the giant, the Jewish state of Biafra, to be able to join the Sahel nation at the end of the day, leaving ECOWAS and AU, totally paralyzed. And that is the area we are looking at now. But from what you're saying now, the economy of Finland is going down, and there is pressure on the parliament, and there is pressure on the presidency of Finland to do the needful. And from what we are gathering, it looks like as if that this very man we are talking about today, who has been a vocal international pro-Biafran lobbyist, unknowingly to many people, that tells you there's a lot of them scattered all over the world, who are bent on making sure that the world get to recognize Biafra and show solidarity to it. The case of Ekpa currently now is not going to last long the way we see it, but I can tell you that victory at the end of the day is totally guaranteed.
But for BiAFRA DAG, do you think that we know that it's affiliated with the Russian government, Putin to be precise, and also affiliated with Ibrahim Traore? But do you think that if the Finnish government don't do the needful by giving Ekpa what it deserves, do you think that when it takes the Finnish government to the ICC, do you think that this will make the Finnish government do the needful?
I think the judgment should be based on, for them to do the needful, and not to bring any external influence on the judgment they are going to take against Samoneba. And that's why we are seeing this side mobilization against Finnish government to let them know that the whole world is interested in Samoneba, and the whole world is interested on how Samoneba should be arraigned in the first place. because agitation for freedom, agitation for self-determination is never a crime, and it is already enshrined in the United Nations Charter. That you have right to defend yourself in any political oppression or suppression or killings, which we have experienced a lot of them in Nigeria. Alexander Stroll, because of this man from France, Macron, cannot be toying with fundamental human rights and put his nation, Finland, under the platform of invasion by any country, because all the neighbors, all the countries surrounding Finland currently now has shut down their borders against Finland, citing the same Simon Ekpa, and that was what attracted this man we are talking about today, Mohammed, Dag, who volunteered to mobilize more than 100 lawyers, international lawyers, to storm Finland court for Simon Ekpa, and also put the Finnish government on pressure. So you can see the direction where the Russian government is coming in. We're also seeing the angle where, of course, nobody can now tell us that Ibrahim Traore is not a fletcher in Africa now. Currently, now it's one of the outstanding leaders people are looking out onto. Let me give you an example why people are also interested in whatever that comes out from. I think 6 months after Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over power in Nigeria, he was able to come to power in Burkina Faso, but he has built more than 76 international world recognized industries and plants. While we saw Mr. President of Nigeria just commissioning just 200-kilometer Calabar Lagos road, and that's the clear difference, So it has attracted the world to himself, based on his leadership style, based on what he has put on ground in Finland. But it is a clear fact, that whatever Nigerian government are doing with Alexander Stubb, who is the current president in Finland now, is going to set a precedent where a lot of people will begin to question, the rationale and the way. The whatever bribe that has gone underground will be questioned. Then the ICC factor, I think the same man too is planning to, as we had reported in some platform, that is mobilizing petitions and getting the ICC government to look into the victory of Simon Ekpa during the court. But what remains at the end of the day, even though nobody is going to judge Simon Ekpa for 6 years, according to the news that is making round, I have to make it very clearly for Simon Ekpa fans all over the world. Simon Ekpa never carried any gun, never killed anybody. He's only an agitator. He's agitating for freedom of the BiAFRAN people, and which is not a crime. So if the Finnish government or the prosecutor is threatening that charges labeled against Simon Ekpa will attract ICC, but the same Finland again allowed Biafra to hold their recognition convention festival in Lahti, Finland, and the same Finnish government has unfrozen the so-called Simon Ekpa account at the end of the day. So what is it that this thing is going to send a lot of signal to Asurok to understand that 1,000 of them cannot stop Simon Ekpa, and that there are a lot of people who are already watching the development in Finland, also watching the development in Nigeria concerning nnamdikanu, and the global solidarity for Biafra is spreading. I can tell you, a few days ago, on 30th May, there was a launch of Biafran embassy right there in Washington. So it is not a crime, for somebody to seek for self-determination, and which Finland government cannot deny what it took them for them to be liberated from Russia territory and become a nation. So if they are doing that, no, definitely, well, there's a lot attached to it, and that is what we are questioning. How come we are seeing more Finnish citizens in the gas industry and crude industry in Nigeria, where we see more of them? So you can see the kind of thing that is going on, just because people doesn't want to be killed by so-called influence of the Fulani in Abuja, or so-called influence under a Fulani government in Nigeria. That is a quite disturbing one, and there's going to be a global resistance to whatever the Finnish government are trying to do, or to breach the fundamental human right and the right for somebody to agitate for freedom. And that is what Simon Ekpa is doing. And based on that, that's why we are seeing all this thing happening. That will give you a breaking news and an insight of what is already building up within Finland, all for Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is not alone. The world is hearing, the world is watching, the global community is watching, the international community is watching, the ICC is watching, human rights organizations is watching, civil society organizations all over the world are watching, and they will know at the end of the day whether Finland will survive Ekpa or Ekpa will survive Finland.
What a wonderful question, the anchor of this great platform. First and foremost, I want to say, Simon Ekpa has come out to say, or has outlined countless times, that he said that the Nigerian government cannot win BiAFRA with a barrel of gun for a second time. Now when he said that, see, Nigerian government cannot win BiAFRA with a barrel of gun, it means that nobody needs to die for them to exit Nigeria. Now, Ojogun fought Biafra in a different dimension. Now, nnamdikanu did it via his own dimension. So Ekpa is taking it globally. And now, we've seen world body recognize Biafra. We've seen the UN and then some other global body have come out to endorse the BiAFRA struggle. So kudos to him, it is a plus. Some persons have come out to say that Simon Ekpa should be discredited, the likes of and that of the southeastern governors. But my question is that you said Simon Ekpa should not be taken serious. Then who should be taken serious? The government who is not willing to protect our people? Is it the people who have refused to speak up when the Igbo man has been marginalized in the country? Is it the same governors who have become a tools in the hands of their Fulani master? So for you to even have a character like Simon Ekpa and nnamdikanu to have come out to say enough is enough, that we are tired of this contraption called one Nigerians. It shows that these people have this mindset that, see, they can no longer be the slave. So for him to have even gone as far as to hire lobbyists that will speak on behalf of BiAFRA in the world in the UN summit, to me it's a plus, and that alone, the voice of Biafrans will be heard globally, and the voice of an Igbo man is also being heard globally. Now let me take it back the line. When Southern Sudan and South Sudan wanted parted ways, nobody killed each other. Nobody go through the route of violence. It was done amicably. So Simon Ekpa is doing it amicably for him to convince world leaders that this thing is possible, and why the government of the day, the present government of Nigeria, are not seeing it that way. Thank you. You can also to the government, the Nigerian government, be worried about this. Why would they be worried? The same people have sent assassins to kill Simon Ekpa. Now only he has escaped. So see, one thing about it is that the government of the day, they are panicking. There's panic. You know what it is now? So a particular tribe, or a major tribe, to exit your country. You know how an Igbo man is. You know the investment of an Igbo man is in the country. Now imagine in Nigeria without an Igbo man. Let's just imagine that. I mean, dominance. That means the Hausa man would now dominate virtually every government parastatals in Nigeria. So now the reason why the Igbo man he still believe that's Nigeria is because the Igbo man is still in the contraption called Nigeria. But eventually, if the Igbo man leaves, my brother, the Yoruba man will know the true meaning of Nigeria, and then we now know who owns Nigeria. Just like what Angobula said, he said they are not scared of the Igbos parting, exiting Nigerians. That was what he said. He said they are not scared. Indirectly, that means the other tribe would not have sense of belonging in the country, and we know it. We know it. I know it too. And every man now has the spirit of dominance. You cannot dominate him. If a Fulani man has the spirit of dominance, for you to dominate him, it will take ages. In terms of population, you cannot dominate them. So one thing is that Ekpa foreseen this whole thing. That was why he championed this BiAFRA struggle. And now, gradually, it is now becoming a reality in this contraction called Nigeria. Now, there are some Igbo men are even tired of the system called Nigeria, just because they feel their brother is still in president. Now, my brother, I can bet you, come 2027, the Yorubas will be championing the Republic more than the Igbo man. I can bet you that. That I'm very certain of. Yes, we will championing because it is certain when their president, when their brother is being kicked away from the presidency, already there is a plot, and which he himself cannot escape. The president himself knows that there is a plot, and then the big shots in the north are formed alliance. You know it. RFI, a powerful influence in the north, is not in the league. Sorry, is not in good terms with the president. And now nobody can take that factor. What RFI did. Honestly, I made President Tinubu emerge as the president via his own influence, and then we have also the likes of Angulai, which is the chairman of the Northern Order Forum. He said, post that election, that the Northern Order Forum supported Tinubu, but come 2027, Tinubu will not get their support. So what does that mean? Now if the average left person is not giving the vote, now where will they get the vote? The shots come by 2027. The same thing the Yorubas have tagged the Igbos for. Now they will be the mastermind of it, because I can bet you by 2027 Yoruba will stop, and that's the slogan that will continue to trend, is that we are tired of the country, we want to follow the suit of the Igbo man and exit the country, and then the Igbo man now will not take them, tag them for being unserious, because now that the Igbo man is championing for the exit, we are saying the Igbo man is not serious. There are claims that the Igbo man is not serious, but I can bet you when the system will not catch up with you, then you will know why the Igbo man has been championing to exit. Thank you for always coming.